I'm going to do a quick review today on the 70-200 Sigma 2.8. Now the reason I want to do this is because a few years ago I was at a similar position that maybe a few of you watching this will be. I was on the fence about whether to go for the 70-200 Canon 2.8, or if you're a Nikon user, I'm sure there's a Nikon equivalent. The reason I went for this mainly was because of the price point. The Sigma is quite a little bit cheaper, and the optics and the results are very, very similar. So let me start with a few obvious things about this. Now, it's not that heavy. It is, of course it is heavy. You can feel that you've got a lens, but you'd expect that. I think when this is brand new a few years ago, and I think it's been out since about 2009 or 10, I think this is just over £1,000. I mean, nowadays you could probably pick this up for maybe even 500, 600 quid, I'm not sure. But I bought this second hand, and I would always recommend buying my lenses second hand because there is a lot less risk involved with buying a second hand lens than there is with a camera. Of course, you've got to think about the condition of the camera, you know, how it's been treated, the sensor, what state the sensor in, the actuations that the camera's had. But with lenses, I mean, they last a long time. If they're well built, then they will last for a while. Now the Sigma is built very, very well, and the front element is very, very nice. It's very sexy, and it's very sharp, this lens. Now I use this lens for headshots. Now this is the only lens that I use for my headshots. In an ideal world, I'd probably go for the 85mm 1.2, but in an ideal world, I'd probably have a lot more money. I also use this for landscapes. Now you can use this as, you can stitch together panoramas, you can get a different perspective for landscapes, and this really does, because it's such a fast lens, it freezes the action, so you can really enhance clarity in your pictures. Weddings, I've used this for weddings and events. For example, if you've got a second shooter, or if you find yourself at the back of the altar looking down, or if you're on the sidelines of the action, you can really zoom in on what people are doing. And I find that this lens really is, it is versatile because of its focal length. Now it is 70-200, so think about what you'll be shooting. If you don't shoot at those focal lengths, then obviously you're not going to consider this lens. But I do, and a lot of people do. So I think this is an essential addition to most people's bags, or at least this very focal length. Now if you're on the fence between getting a Canon 70-200 2.8 and this, I've got to recommend this. I've never owned the 70-200 Canon. I've owned the 70-200 f4, which is, you know, that's okay, but it's nothing considered to this. This is great for low light, great for bokeh. I mean, for example, if you're doing a headshot, you'd want to isolate these features here, so you can get an eye in focus and maybe an ear and the hair is starting to go out. You can really create some lovely effects with this lens. Now I'm going to show you some pictures of some of the results that I've had with this lens over the years, and I hope you enjoy the photos. So just to reiterate, Sigma 2.8 70-200, really good lens. I think it's a great addition for 95% of photographers, and it's a very, very practical lens. So I'm going to go inside now before I freeze to death, but I'm going to show you some of the pictures that, as I said, that I've taken over the years that I'm really proud of. So until next time, please like, please subscribe, and give me a comment if there's anything that you'd like me to review. Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers.